gonadal differentiation. The SRY gene has 3 functions. I want you to remember it until now. So these are the topics, important topics until now. Let's a little talk about AMH. AMH is not for your final exam, but as a physician you have to know about the importance of this hormone. This hormone, as you know, during embryonic life is so important for the generation of Mullerian duct. Yes? Please be in the class. For the generation of Mullerian duct, AMH is important. But after birth, AMH is also important. After birth, AMH is produced by Sertoli cells in males and by granulosa cells in females. One important part for AMH, my dear friend, is finding the ovaries reservation. Granulosa cells are inside the ovary and they are around the oocytes. So the AMH level in the blood is showing some kind of ovaries reservation. So if some women refer to the doctor for infertility, the first stage is to find the blood AMH level, because AMH is produced by granulosa cells and granulosa cells are inside the ovary. So if the AMH level is going to be lower than normal, it means that granulosa cells are not functional. So because granulosa cells are protecting oocytes in the ovary, it means that maybe the infertility cause may be related to the ovaries part, not the hormones of the pituitary or the brain hormones, okay? So the first stage, if some women, especially women, refer to doctors for infertility cause, the first of them is finding the AMH level. So AMH is important during embryonic life and also is important during adulthood life.
Doctor, what's the function of that hormone in the females?
In females?
Yes.
In females, this AMH is helping for the oocytes development. Okay? That's right. Its name maybe confuse us. Its name related to its function during embryonic life. But AMH is also important for development of the ovaries. We will discuss about the ovaries and all granulosa cells in the next sessions. Don't worry. So, my dear friend, I told you that we have an undifferentiated stage in the embryo. Until 6 weeks after gestation, the embryo is in the undifferentiated stage. It means that the embryo is not like male or female genitalia. But after week 7 or week 8, the medulla of the gonad develops into the testis. And if there is no SRY gene, after after 9 weeks, the cortex develops into the ovaries. So, if there is a SRY gene, after 7 weeks of gestation, the medulla develops into the testis. If there is no SRY gene, after 9 weeks of gestation, the cortex develops into the ovary. So there is a timing and the rule of SRY gene you are seeing here. In the 7th weeks of gestation, the embryo has both male and female. Until here, we know that has a Mullerian duct and Wolffian duct. But as we discussed in the previous slide, after 8 weeks, if there is a SRY gene, the gonads develops into the testis. If there is no SRY gene, gonads develop into the ovary. So that is the important part, is no sexual difference can be accessed in the gonads until 6 weeks. That's why the first month of pregnancy is so important. The hormones, fluctuation, or any changes in mood in all parts is important, because in these 6 weeks, the embryo is in undifferentiated stage. And we know that if the embryo is under some hormones, maybe the hormones can develop the gonads into the different gonads. So that's why the first month of pregnancy, because the embryo is in the undifferentiated stage, is important. So the slides that we discussed is for final exam. I will pass some slides that is not important for final exam, my dear friend. Any question until here? No? Okay, let's pass faster because we have no time. In the male fetus, testes produce a protein and some hormones, that is hormones in the male and female sexual hormones, categorized as steroidal hormones. And one important hormone, my dear friend, in male is testosterone. Testosterone is responsible for development of the gonads, and testosterone are increased during embryonic life. We will discuss about testosterone in the male reproductive system. And more important thing is that testosterone is responsible for development of internal genitalia of male. Internal genitalia. In parallel with testosterone, we have another enzyme, another hormone named dihydrotestosterone. Dihydrotestosterone is produced by testosterone by the enzyme named 5-alpha reductase. 5-alpha reductase. Here, 5-alpha reductase produce testosterone into the dihydrotestosterone. The important function of the dihydrotestosterone is generation of the external genitalia of male and also secondary characteristic of male. Again, based on enzymes effect, imagine that what happens if there is a 5-alpha reductase deficiency.
Formation dihydro
deficiency. What happens in some embryo has a 5-alpha reductase deficiency?
External genitals will not develop.
Yes, external genitalia is like female. So, because the dihydrotestosterone is responsible for external genitalia and secondary characteristic, maybe the phenotype of that subject may be like a female. So, until here we discussed what happens if there is a SRY gene. So, in this slide, let's see what happens if there is no SRY gene. If there is no Y chromosome, there is no SRY gene, the gonads by default develops into the ovary. Because there is no AMH or Mullerian inhibiting substance, Mullerian duct will be generated and produce internal and external genitalia of female. Because there is no testosterone in the when we are talking about there is no SRY gene. Because there is no testosterone, the Wolffian ducts degenerate. Because there is no dihydrotestosterone, the external genitalia remains as a default as an external female genitalia. Until here, my dear friend, we find that we have a genetic sexual differentiation if some cells in the gonads, in the egg has a Y chromosome or X chromosome. And after that, we know that Y chromosome produces some agents that these agents promote undifferentiated embryo into the male embryo and male fetus, and this male fetus produce gonad. This gonad produce some hormones, and these hormones starts to phenotypic changes or phenotypic sexual differentiation. For example, if there is a SRY gene, we have some hormones such as testosterone. Testosterone develop gonads. Gonads produce more testosterone. Gonads, testes produce more testosterone, and more testosterone are showing the feature or phenotype or secondary characteristic of male. That is the phenotypic sexual differentiation. But the last sexual differentiation is brain differentiation. As I told you, that testosterone acts on the some parts as a neurotransmitter, acts on some parts on the male brain. In the female, the estrogen acts on the female brain, and that is why we have some differences in the thinking, in some feature of male and female. In brief, let's discuss about male and female. The first, but is not 100% true, is digit ratio. If the index finger and the ring finger is equal to each other, it said that it's like a female. If the ring finger is a little higher rather than the index finger, it's based on the testosterone level. It's said it's because of testosterone level that increased ring finger. All of you is okay? But if it's not okay, don't worry, because it's not 100% proved. Is there a problem? In boys, if you are equal, don't depress. It's okay. Most of students.
No, I had this longer than this one. عادي. هاي يسمونه شباب بين الملك كنا شنحن كردي.
Some studies said that maybe the testosterone or androgen increase the height of the babies. About similarities, my dear friend. My dear friend, about similarities, we know there is many similarities between male and female. You know better than me. We have gonads, but in the male we have testes, in female we have ovaries. We have many systems are similar to each other, such as nervous system, vascular system, immune system, muscular system, endocrine systems, and many hormones that is similar between male and female. Let's see the differences. Let's see the differences. My dear friend, the slide that we discussed is for the final exam. Again, I'm telling to you, emphasizing it. Let's see the differences. The difference, most important difference in the topic of the reproductive system is male reproductive system has always produced gametes or sperms. So, in the whole lifespan of male reproductive system, we are seeing sperm production. But in the female, we have a phase that after puberty until the menopause, only in this phase we have reproductive activity in female. After menopause, the ovaries collapse or ovaries burn out. So after that, the reproductive function of females are abolished. So there is one important difference in the aspect of reproduction between male and female. In the male, we have a non-cyclic secretion of sexual hormones. We will see in the next sessions. But in the female, we have a cyclic secretion of sexual hormones. The male has a more fragile to risk by the brain damage. They are more fragile, but female have a better chance to born alive during pregnancy or after pregnancy. The female are more can tolerate more than male. The male are lost and vague during birth, but female are more alert and brighter. The male has a solitary fashion to solve problem. They are going to solve problem by solitary, but the female call other females to help her. That is based on what else? Brain differentiation. We discussed all the steps of differentiation finally change brain differentiation. That is related to brain differentiation. It's not for the final exam, my dear friend, this part, only because it's interesting, I put it to you. The male have a better sense of sight, female have a better sense of smell. Male survival tool is fighting, the female survival tool is gossiping. Gossip is some kind of evolutionary part. It means that we are talking to each other to increase our survival. Maybe it's interesting at first, but it's evolution. And the RBC, the hemoglobin, the muscles, the skeletal muscles, the whole muscles in male is more than female. That's because of testosterone. Testosterone is an anabolic hormone that increases the body mass of the male in comparison to female. Always remember that RBC, white BC, bone matrix, the skeletal muscles, the whole muscles in the body in the male is 20% more than female because of testosterone hormone. In the female, we have an inactive X body. Do you remember from genetic, this part?
Yes.
In the female, we have two X's, yes? The X chromosome. The sexual chromosome, the 23rd chromosome. In female, we have two X's. And one of them are going to be deactive, and only one X is active and producing genes. That this inactive X chromosome named as a bar body that obviously are seen in the female, yes, female cells. So that is the last slide. You can see one scientist, Jane, in the Science journal, that's a high impact journal, are drawing this funny picture about SRY gene and Y chromosome and saying that all of these genes are present on the male Y chromosome. You can see ability to remember and tell jokes. You know, the males and boys are so talented to telling jokes, sport pages, their ability to identify aircrafts, say all of the objects on the air are UFOs, they believe that. Spitting, it's a joke. But, my dear friend, that's a joke. But in the 1993, one scientist in USA are talking about all of these features among males. Is it interesting? Does it interesting? It's related to the same brain differentiation that comes from testosterone that acts on the brain. It means that after near to 20 years, 1993.
No.
After 20 years, on the West
32
countries, we are seeing the same behavior as we have now. That is interesting. That's because of the brain differentiation in the male. Also, we have brain differentiation in the female. That's the same. Any question? Okay, let's have a rest for 15 minutes and then start next.
Not gonna show. We didn't think anything.